What's going on? Charles Botenston here. Just wanted to make a video about just how you view the world. I've talked about it many times about when you are just going throughout your daily life. Most people, like I've said, are in the "durr" state. They just walk around like, "Durr, I'm going to this place." They don't appreciate the sunshine or the trees or where they are. They just don't appreciate it. I would say that's 80% of the world. And like I've said, 80% of the world just go right. There's no appreciation. There's no gratitude. And I know you guys aren't like that, but one of the biggest things that I notice as well, if you want to take it to the next level, is seeing opportunities. All right. So this is a little advanced, and this is for really those business people, because when I was going throughout life, I just accepted things. I just accepted marketing and brilliance and say the Apple, how products are launched. I wasn't actually looking at it and say, wow, people are speculating for months and months and months. They're going to have it this. They're going to make it waterproof. They're going to make a dual camera that's 20 megapixels. It's going to be this. And then they actually announce it on one day. They have pre-orders another day. And then they actually launch it a third day. And oh, by the way, they happen to run out every single year. Oh, wow. What are the chances of that? That's amazing. But then, I don't know, they just happen to manufacture a week later enough iPhones, or 2 weeks later, to be in the Apple stores. It's amazing. Listen, you have to view the world as an opportunity. You can't view it as, so that's an opportunity to learn and say, how does Apple do it? How does Google do it? Google has an amazing work environment. I've been in Google. They have a massive headquarters in New York City. They bought a building for like $2.3 billion cash. That's some serious dough right there. And I've been inside. And they have a specific work environment that is inclusive of all ideas. Google Maps was just a throwaway project. I think it was Gmail was in beta for like 7 years, even though it was launched. It's just they do a certain way. They love just how they actually take a product to market, or a service, most likely a service now, to market. But the biggest thing is you have to look at, I walked into Starbucks. Here's another example. I walked into Starbucks. So in other words, with the Google example and the Apple example, is that you look at it and you say, what do they do? Don't just accept things. Question it. It's the biggest thing. I don't walk around and say, oh, okay, I can't get it available. Why is it always sold out? No, just say, oh, they do this on purpose, and it creates demand, it creates buzz, it creates publicity, it creates people talking about it, and it sells the product every year. Google, why does that work environment? Do you have a business? And then you see, okay, I have a business. Google's work environment works. How can I use that? See the world and opportunities. I was at Starbucks, and literally, I'm looking at it, and it says on the straw, it says for cold drinks, whatever. And I started thinking, why would they say on the straw for cold drinks? Most people would be like, oh, that's weird. I don't know why they would say it. But then you question it. Don't question it as in a bad thing. Question it as a good thing. Be like, they made the decision to have on there. And listen, I worked at a firm that was about 5,000 people. It was a financial firm, Oppenheimer Funds, and the smallest tweak on the website took like 10 people. You think at Starbucks, to mass produce some lettering that costs money, it's ink, and you have to change what they're doing right now. You don't think that took an entire month or 2 months to say, what are we going to say? First it would be, should we even say anything? The second is, what should we say? What would be the coloring? What's the font? What's the size? Where should we have it on the straw? They are specifically tailoring everything to the marketplace. So look at the world with opportunities. Say, how can I make money off of this? How can I do things differently? How can I do things better? That's the biggest thing is, so this is the trajectory of my business in real estate, is that it was explosive in the beginning. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I went out on my own. I started my own business. I'm making way more money. And then it teetered off for about 6-7 months when I hired someone. And then it dipped a little bit. And instead of accepting the dip, I said, what am I doing differently? What's my routine? And then I started noticing that I wasn't reaching out to clients as much, blah, blah, blah. And then I also noticed that the biggest thing that my old company that I worked for was doing was a consistent marketing campaign. Once I started the consistent marketing campaign and I started doing social media and I started reaching out to clients, boom, it was right back up. But the biggest thing is say, okay, instead of just accepting things, instead of just accepting this is the only food I have available at my school. Well, bring your own food. Oh, but I have to make it or I have to buy it or, like that's the biggest thing. Well, you can't complain about it because you have an opportunity to change it. You have an opportunity to get another job, to start a business. The internet has opened the world to everyone. You could research it. It's the biggest thing is what really, really bothers me is when someone says, how do I do it? Do you understand? I never... And it's a bad thing. It's a very bad thing that I do this. But I don't ask people for help. And I need to. That's a foible. And I know people in the comments section are like, you should ask. I just admitted that I need to do that. It's amazing is that see the good in things. There was a guy, I'll never forget it, a speaker probably 5-6 years ago. And he said, I feel the world is out to prove me right, to give me opportunities. And I was like, wow. And at the time, I didn't have the mindset. I didn't have the mentality that I do now. One thing that you should do is, I ended up going back, and this is why you should produce content and get better, all right? Is that I went back and I started seeing some videos that I made a couple of years ago. If you're going back and you're seeing videos a couple of years ago and you're like, wow, I was really good, then you're on the wrong path. You're on the wrong trajectory. Because I look back at the videos and I was frightened. I was like, wow, that is an insecure man. I know in a year I'll say, you were an insecure man, talking about myself. But the thing is, that's a good thing to be saying that. Because that means you're getting better. You're improving. You're seeing opportunities. You're not just accepting things. The last video that I put out is literally from the heart. It's people will try to push you down. There will be resistance. I can guarantee you that. How can I guarantee you that? Because in my own life, I get it every day. I get it on social media or messages or in person or emails or family members or friends or society or the government or whatever. Says, you should take it slower. You should do this. You shouldn't be so radical. You shouldn't. I'm not even being radical. I'm nowhere near being radical. I'm nowhere being an Elon Musk, completely flipping an industry upside down, 2 industries upside down, where he's going to take space flight. Blue Horizon by Amazon, they got nothing on SpaceX. I know they're touting that they're going more passenger than actual space flight. So 2 different, I guess, concepts. It's up to you. And obviously you have Virgin Galactic, which is Richard Branson's venture. To be honest, I don't know if that's alive or dead, but Elon Musk, someone like that is radical. That is radical. Those are the people we need. Those are the people that are changing the world. Those are the people that look at things and don't accept it. So in other words, when I was at Starbucks, just to go back to that, and I'll end on this, is that I looked at the straw. I said, why would they put for cold drinks only? I'm like, why? Like, don't people know that? And I'm just going over the questions and then not judging at all. Once you start judging, you're not going down the right path to actually figuring out why they put it there. And then I said, for cold drinks, if you put this in a hot drink, the plastic actually may disintegrate or toxins from the straw may be released. So then I'm saying, well, actually, Starbucks actually knows that. That's good that Starbucks actually knows that. They're going to more of a health conscious, because plastic isn't good for you. Plastic is everywhere. Plastic's terrible, by the way. It's a chemical. It's been tied to a lot of bad things. Carcinogens is one of them. And one of the biggest things is, in your mind, you say, okay, if Starbucks is actually getting conscious of this, but they're not actually coming out and saying plastic is bad for you, but they're saying don't put it in hot drinks, put it only in cold drinks, that's good. And then you say, how in my business can I come out with something that's similar? Say you had a food and beverage. It's one of those things. If you have hamburgers or hot dogs or something that's hot, or you deliver a meal and it's on plastic, maybe deliver it on metal, and then you put the whole tray up there so the metal of the tray and the food is also hot. I'm just ad-libbing this. But you have to go through the world looking for opportunity. everywhere you see something that you're amazed by or that you say, why would they do that? That is where an opportunity comes in. All right. So look at the world with opportunities. Subscribe to the videos. Leave your comments below. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm trying to turn it off.